Gator Dave, how we feeling?
We're feeling pretty good, Mike. Feeling pretty good. We got a semi-off week, right? Only a few games, and yes, they made it in. We'll talk about that as the night progresses. As well deserved making it into the playoff for sure. So very excited for you. Very excited for you, Mike. So, um, welcome everybody. We are Bets Utopia, your number one location for all things sports betting. Please subscribe, like. Don't forget the podcast now out there at Apple, Spotify, and all your favorite podcast locations. We're live on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. More time for those wagers on Thursday nights, even though there's no Thursday night game this week. Everything's rolling on the weekend. So, starting on Saturday at 3 p.m. I do want to throw out some big news that's out there right now. For all the Michigan fans out there, you've lost your head coach. The line is University of Michigan head football coach Sharon Moore has been terminated with cause, effective immediately following a university investigation. Credible evidence has found that Coach Moore engaged in inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This is conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and University of Michigan maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. So he is gone. So now a big position is vacated. So we shall see what goes on with that one and who that might be. You
Jed
know,
Fish.
that's my first bet too. So right now, I'd say he's top candidate unless something weird happens, like somebody big wants to jump ship. But I
Yeah.
think that could be where it goes. So, well, Mike, you want to talk about something very exciting that our viewers and listeners might be interested in to catch a couple of bucks?
That's right. We are bringing back the college football pick'em show bowl game contest pool. It's like the bow to Ricky Bobby right there. It just never ends. So it is a prize pool. It is completely free to enter. We went ahead and put the link in the bio below on the YouTube channel. So if you're listening on the podcast, make sure to check out the YouTube channel for that link. Copy and paste it into your whatever browser you use for websites. Go ahead and log in and enter that league. You don't have to submit and pick any teams up until kickoff of that specific game. So it's not like you have to pick games that are 3 weeks from now, right now. First game, like Dave said, is going to be this Saturday, and we'll talk about that one coming up here shortly. But it's going to be first person to win. It gets a $50 gift card. It's free to enter. So why not? Let's have some fun. See if you can beat Gator Dave and I.
Yes, the experts at picking
Ooh,
games.
that's a bold word choice there, Dave. Bold word
Hey,
choice.
hey, we do want to shout out to Evelyn and Scott and my lovely wife Nirvana in the chat right now, and we got the old gold dogs there from my wife. So, all right, ready to get cranking here? We
Let's
got
do it.
6 games, right?
Six
First
games.
game is the big game, Army Navy, on Saturday at 3 p.m. Army comes in at 6-5, Navy 9-2. The weather, just in case you want to know, cloudy and 38 degrees. The game will be played in Baltimore at the Ravens Stadium, which is 25 miles from the Naval Academy. The power rankings have Army at 79 and Navy at 57th. Army has won 3 of the last 5 games. They've been kind of hot. They beat UTSA by 3, Temple by 1, Air Force by 3. They did lose to Tulsa, who's not very good, by 1, and they lost to Tulane by 7. The Black Knights are led by Cal Helms, the QB. 504 yards passing, 51%, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. However, he likes to run the ball, Mike. 1,078 yards, 4.1 average at 15 TDs. Their lead running back, Noah Short, has 552 yards. Army defense is ranked 56. Their offense this year, Mike, is 108th. So they haven't been exactly tearing it up this year, a little bit lower than they were last. Army is 5-6 against the spread and 3-2 as an underdog. Navy's lost 2 games. They lost 2 games early in November to North Texas and Notre Dame by pretty wide margins. Most of Navy's wins, as I looked at them, have been pretty close, except Memphis. In that game, it was like 11 points. Quarterback Horvath, 13-90, 62%, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He has also run for 1,000 yards at 6 yards a carry, however, and 14 TDs. Their running back, Texas, 772 and 9 TDs. The Navy defense is ranked 92nd. Their offense is 24th. Navy's only 4-7 against the spread and 1-5 as a favorite. Mike, I know where you're going to go in this one, but I'm a little worried that Navy might score some points. The weather's not going to be real shitty, so I'm going to go ahead and take Navy to cover this one. It's -6. I think they can win by a touchdown, so give me Navy at home. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that pick. I think Navy is definitely the better team. You mentioned Horvath. As long as he plays in this game, I think Navy gets it done by 2 scores at least. But you just can't go against the title true under. Give me the under, 39.5 in this one. It's a military game. When these teams play each other, Army, Navy, Air Force, under. Give me the under.
All right.
Lots of running the football, lots of possession time. You mentioned the weather. It's going to be nasty. Stay true.
All right. We shall see. I told you Mike would go under. All right. The next game. We have the Celebration Bowl, Mike. And this one's in our contest, right? So
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Shout out to our guy Charles. Friend of the show, South Carolina State alum.
That's right. I totally forgot our friend Charles. All right. So it's important that you pick this game by noon on Saturday if you want to be in the contest. Don't forget. This one's noon and the next one's at 8 o'clock. So at least get this one under your belt. So you got to pick this one. So South Carolina State favored by 4.5 at Prairie View, technically at Prairie View. The game's actually here in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And the over-under is 43.5, Mike. So South Carolina State out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Prairie View as out of the Southwest Athletic Conference. And they're the top 2 teams in those conferences meeting in this bowl for this championship. The Bulldogs of South Carolina State, Charles still not here, have won their last 7
games. I texted him. I don't know where he's at.
All right. We're got all this pub. They've won their last 7 games, Mike. Their 3 losses were to Power 4 or Group of 6 schools in the higher divisions, okay, on their 3 losses. Their quarterback is William Atkins. He's got 2274 at 62%, 16 TDs, a running back. Smith has 490 at 4.7 a carry and 5 TDs. South Carolina State in the FCS, their defense is ranked 20th. Their offense is 26th. Let's see. So the Panthers of Prairie View come in, are 9-1 in their last 10 games, only lost to Alabama State by 3. So another good team coming in, right? Quarterback Peters has 2367 at 63%, 17 touchdowns. He's also rushed for 465. Their running back, Bigman, is 847 yards, 5.7 a carry, and 8 TDs. Prairie View FCS offense is ranked 3rd, defense 19th. South Carolina State, here's the interesting factor here and why I picked what I picked. The South Carolina State's games, they only went under 43 points one time. Prairie View has only gone under 43.5 points 3 times the whole year. So, Mike, give me the over 43.5 in this one. I think this can happen. Won't call it a Gator Dave lock, but I feel pretty good about it to start our contest off in the Celebration Bowl.
I like it. So you think there's going to be some offense?
I think there's going to be some more than 43 as I look at these teams as a whole.
Got you. There we go. Charles is in the chat now. Shout out to Charles, our SC State former player and alum. Ring wearer for the Dogs. But guess what? He's not suiting up this Saturday, Dave. We're gonna go with Prairie View A&M plus the 4.5. We're gonna take the better defense in this one. Okay, Prairie View A&M has a top 5 defense this year. They are going to shut down this South Carolina State offense. I like them to probably actually get the win outright in this one. First year coach for Prairie View as well. Look for him to maybe go somewhere else. Maybe not. But give me the Panthers. So go ahead and get the cover here.
Man, I mean, Hindu, is that like a stab or what, buddy? He gets you, he calls you, gets you on this thing, and then says he's not even going here. Look, Pat McAfee over here. See, Pat McAfee went with the over. Gator Day went with the over too there.
He can't save you either, all right?
We're going to get the over for sure. I don't know how the game's going to go. I don't know enough about him. So, all right, next game, we're going out to the far left coast in the LA Bowl in Inglewood, California, Saturday at 8 p.m. And this is going to be a good game. This is going to be the game, really the game of the weekend, in my opinion. Boise State playing the Washington Huskies, and as Mike and I said, maybe the future coach of Michigan. So Boise comes in at 9-4, Washington at 8-4. The power rankings have Boise at number 50, Washington at number 16. The Boise State Broncos, they've been a little roller coasterous. They lost 2 games to Fresno State, San Diego State, beat Colorado, beat Utah State, and they beat UNLV last weekend. So the good thing for them is they got their QB back. That's where I made the mistake and made the wrong pick last week. Madison's back. He had a great weekend last week. He's at 2283, 59%, 18 TDs and 7 interceptions. They got 2 good running backs, Riles and Gaines, 1,091 and 795. So they can flat run the ball. Boise State defense ranked 36th, offense 25th. The Broncos come in at 8-4-1 against the spread and 1-1 as a dog. So the Huskies, they've won 3 of 5. The 2 losses, Wisconsin at Wisconsin, and they lost to Oregon 2 weeks ago by 12. This team has beaten who they should have beaten and lost to the good teams in the Big Ten. Quarterback Desmond Williams, 2850, 70%, 21-8. He's run for 595 and 6 TDs. He is for real. Running back Jonah Coleman has 673 yards and 14 TDs. Washington's defense is ranked 20th. Offense is 39th. Very respectable. The Huskies are only 6-6 against the spread, which scares me a little bit. They are 6-3 as a favorite. But Mike, once this point total started drifting up toward 10, and I started thinking that, last year Boise State beat the crap out of Washington. So I'm going to say Washington's going to win the game, but I think Boise State is going to cover in this one. If I were a betting person, I would drive this one up to 10 points to make you feel a little bit better about it. But I'll take Boise and the 9.5. What do you think?
I'm right there with you, Dave. I like Boise in the points here. I think they have a chip on their shoulder right now. They're playing with a little fight. And Washington, they don't really have too much to play for other than just getting extra reps. On top of that, you mentioned what we talked about at the beginning briefly. We do both think that there's a very good chance that Washington's head coach, Jed Fish, ends up with Michigan. Um, it could end up happening before this game even starts. So, because of that, I think there's a little bit of chatter going on, a little bit of a distraction inside of a situation that, how much do they really want this, kind of thing. Are guys fully committed? Are they looking elsewhere for the transfer portal? Are they looking ahead to the draft? Give me the Broncos. Give me the Broncos plus the 9.5, and I think they have a chance to win it outright as well.
All right. I like it. I like it. We're there. Let's see. Next game. This was a tough one here. So you got Troy, Alabama, favored by 3.5, playing Jacksonville State. The over/under is 46.5, so it's going to be a snooze fest. This is the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. So we got two Alabama teams playing in Alabama. This one is on Tuesday next week at 9 p.m. So get your picks in on that one. So let's look at the geography. We got Montgomery, Alabama, Mike, is where the game's played on the southern third of Alabama. Okay. Troy is okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. So it's here. So then Troy is 52 miles south, almost down there in God's country in Florida, right? It's down here, and then Jacksonville is 110 miles to the northeast of Montgomery. So that's where everything is going to happen, Mike. So the power rankings have Troy at 87th in the land, Jacksonville State at 91st. So we got a game here. Troy's 8-5, lost to JMU in the Sun Belt Championship. Troy has lost 3 of their last 5 games to Arkansas State, Old Dominion, and JMU. Quarterback Goose Crowder. The Goose is on the loose. He's 13, 14, 58%, 11 TDs. And their running back Meadows is 695 and 6 TDs. The Troy defense is ranked 74th. Their offense, Mike, is a stinky 121st out of 134 teams. Troy is 9-4, however, against the spread, and 3-2 is a favorite. Jacksonville State, they come in 8-5 as well. They lost in their championship game to the home team, Kennesaw State, 15-19 in the Conference USA Championship. The Gamecocks have lost 2 of the last 3 to Kennesaw State and to FIU. They beat Western Kentucky in the middle there. They do have a quarterback. His name's Caden Creel. He's only thrown for 1341 and 61%, but dude has 1,000 yards and 7 TDs. They've also got the best running back in the nation. His name is Mr. Cook. He has 1659 leading FBS, 16 TDs as well. KSU held him to 78 yards last weekend, and that's how they won the game. Jacksonville State defense ranked 84th and offense 35th. Jacksonville State is 6-7 against the spread and 5-4 as a dog. Mike, I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm going to go with the run game. Give me Jacksonville State Gamecocks to cover that 3.5. And the points, excuse me, not cover, but give me them 3.5 points.
I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I'm with you. I'm going to take Jacksonville State plus the 3.5 here as well, because of that run game. They have 1,000-yard rushers on this team. Troy, on the flip side, is giving up 180 rush yards a game, one of the worst in the country. That's not a recipe for success. Jacksonville State, like you mentioned, is also coming off that loss in the conference championship in their home stadium. I think they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder here in this one as well. Give me the better offense. Give me they're pretty equal in terms of defense, but give me the team with the chip on their shoulder and the underdog, Jacksonville State. Go Cocks. Go Cocks. Give me them
The
plus
Cox.
3.5.
The
Plus 3.5.
Cox.
I think they have a shot at winning that one outright as well, Dave. 3 dogs so far. 3 dogs so far that all have a good shot at
They
winning
do.
outright. That's
They
all I'm
do.
saying. That's all I'm saying,
do.
folks.
They do. We like them. We like them. Don't know about the dog in the next game. We'll see, though. We got Old Dominion playing South Florida. 5.5 is South Carolina's favorite. We got the over/under at 56.5. This is the Cure Bowl in the Dump in Orlando. This is next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Interesting. So both teams coming to this game at 9-3. Old Dominion from the Sun Belt, USF from the American Conference. Both just missed their conference championship games. Power rankings have ODU at 48th and USF at 23rd. The Monarchs, they won their last 5 games in a row, Mike, all within their conference. They beat the conference runner-up Troy, who we just talked about, 33-0 3 weeks ago. They did get smoked by JMU and Marshall prior to their little winning streak. They got a nice quarterback, Mike. His name's Colton Joseph, stud. Problem is, Mike, he's entered the transfer portal and won't be there. So we're going with Quinn Hinkle. He's got 57 yards passing at 40%, no TDs, no interceptions. Their running back, Traquan Jones, has 7.6 carrying 5 TDs. That's respectable. Old Dominion defense ranked 32nd. Their offense 15th. Don't even count on that without that quarterback. Old Dominion 7-5 against the spread. 2-5, 2-1 as a dog. So the Bulls, South Florida, that is. They lost 2 of their last 5 games. They lost to Memphis. They lost to Navy. Respectable teams in the league. Fortunately, the Bulls have Byron Brown. He's playing in the bowl. I've already checked. He's at 66%, Mike. 3,000 yards. 3,000 yards in the air. 28 touchdowns. 7 interceptions. And, oh, by the way, he's the leading rusher on the team at 1,000 yards. 14 TDs. Running back Davenport's got 600 yards and 7 TDs. So, USF defense ranked 60th. Not that great. Offense is ranked number 2. USF's 9-3 against the spread, 6-2 as a favorite. Now, obviously, the big deal with South Florida is they lost their coach that is now at Auburn. So that's the big negative for the Bulls. But let me tell you, without that quarterback for the Monarchs, give me the Bulls covering easily 5.5 points, maybe up to 10. And I'm calling this one a Gator Dave lock.
I like that pick, Dave. I like it. But this Old Dominion team is sneaky. They are sneaky, and I do not want to get on the other side of them. So I'm gonna chicken out here and take the over 55.5 in this one. I think there's gonna be a lot of points. I think it's gonna be back and forth, a lot of big plays, a lot of blown tackles. So go ahead and give me that over 55.5. This one could hit that over in the first half, I think, here, Dave.
Yeah, I think South Florida will probably have about 30 of that. So, all right. In the first half. Next game, we got Louisiana, favored by 3, playing Delaware, over under 58.5. This is the Hancock Whitney Bowl
There you
Another
go.
one in Alabama, Mike. This one's in Mobile, Alabama. And this one is next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. 58.5 over under. Both teams coming 6-6. Ooh, this is a stanky bowl here. Power rankings have Louisiana at 101st and Delaware at 108th, and they're playing in a damn bowl. Oh, the Raging Cajuns have won their last 4 in a row. They're kind of mid in the Sun Belt. Their quarterback might get this quarterback. Lunch Winfield. Boom.
Love it.
Yes,
Ooh,
13-24,
finger guns.
59%, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's run for 627 and 9 TDs. Running back Davis has 743 and 6 touchdowns. Running back Perry has 663. This team likes to run the damn ball. Raging Cajuns defense ranked 113th and offense is 97th. So Louisiana, 6-6 against the spread and 1-3 is a favorite. So then we have the Blue Hens of Delaware. They've lost 3 of the last 5 to Liberty, Sam Houston, and Wake. And the Liberty and Sam Houston, they got trounced. And Mike, if you go looking how crappy teams are, Liberty and Sam Houston are worse than these two teams. They're horrible. The Hens quarterback, Mitsukushi, he's got 3,000 yards, however. That's the impressive thing here, which is crazy. 63%, 22 touchdowns. He's also run for 231 and 10 TDs. Running back Silver has 536 and 4 TDs. Delaware's defense is 108th. Offense is 36. Delaware is a paltry 4-8 against the spread and 3-3 as a dog. I just don't think the numbers look that good for the Hens, Mike. I think Louisiana is going to run the ball. So give me Louisiana and the money line here, sir.
I like that one as well here, Dave. But again, I'm going to take the over 58.5. Both of these defenses are terrible. Again, I think this one's going to be a bit of a shootout. And I do like Louisiana to win this one, but I think the safer bet is the over here. So give me over 58.5. Delaware's first year being bowl eligible, by the way, going to a bowl. So shout out to
That's
them.
impressive. Yeah, they did try to
The Blue
squeeze it.
Hens.
They looked good at the beginning of the year. They won a few games, and
They
it was
did.
like, what the hell?
Shocked a few people.
I
Yep.
think we even had them in on our show at least once. So, all
Yep.
right. So remind everyone, Mike. So I'm just gonna remind. It's a reminder here to stay till the end. We got a college football pick'em bowl contest that's out there. Take a look at it. $50 gift card to the winner of this contest, and it costs you nothing to get in. We'll talk more in a minute about that. So, a couple of things we wanted to touch on. First one's the Heisman. That is this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And we have the 4 that are coming. We have Fernando. We have Diego Pavia, Julian Sayin, and Bryce Love coming in for the award ceremony. And my prediction here is going to be Fernando Mendoza, since they kind of
Bold.
won it all.
Very, very bold of you
Yeah, it is.
to go
It's
with the
bold as hell,
minus
isn't it?
2,000 favorite. Yeah.
Well, I will say that, but I also want to say that I believe if you look at the stats that Pavia should win the Heisman. Their
Oh,
stats are very similar, with the exception
controversy.
Pavia has a crap ton of rushing yards that Mendoza does not, and I think their competition is similar, if not even better, for Vanderbilt. So, in my opinion, Pavia should be the winner, but we know it goes to the team with the highest ranking quarterback, and that's how things roll out. That's kind of where I am on this thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. Um, I think it's Mendoza's race. Unfortunately, I think they've sort of crowned him already based off of, the odds, unless we see something super dramatic or crazy that comes out, between now and Saturday, votes are in. I think it's Mendoza's for sure. But you mentioned
Yep.
Pavia. Jeremiyah Love had a fantastic year. He only had 33 yards against Miami in week one, and it's part of the reason why they didn't make the playoffs. So that's probably assists in why he didn't win the Heisman, or he's not going to. But he did have a very good year for them. Got them to a reasonable record. Julian Sayin, the quarterback for Ohio State, setting records. He's got 78%, I believe, almost 79% completion. Could potentially break the national season-long record for college football, depending on how he does with the remainder of the season. But yeah, I think it's Mendoza's to win. Undefeated team. Indiana's done what they've done. They sort of shocked the world. I think that game last week against Ohio State, if it wasn't solidified already, that solidifies it. But for me, that Heisman moment was when they came back. He had that crazy throw. His wide receiver helped him out with an insane catch in the back of the end zone. I think his name's Cooper. But man, that for me was his Heisman moment. That comeback, fighting through that game against Penn State, able to win that one, down at the wire to keep them going, keep them undefeated, pushing towards the Big Ten championship. I think that's the difference maker here. Shout out to Evelyn in Indiana. You guys are going to be coming home with a Heisman Trophy Saturday night, which if you would have told me that 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20, I would have never believed you. So what's going on right now at Indiana, it has to definitely be recognized. It's remarkable, and we'll see what happens during this playoff run. They have a very good shot. That bracket is pretty appealing on the side of Indiana, Texas Tech, up there on that top side of the bracket. It's open. It's open. So anything can happen, I think, on that top side.
I agree. I did want to shout out to
I did. Hold
my
on. I'm sorry, Dave. Evelyn, I did doubt y'all. I did. I'll take that one on the chin. I 100% doubted the absolute mess out of Indiana. I thought it was a one and done last year. I thought the same thing with Vandy. I thought it was going to be a one and done fluke type thing. They 100% proved me wrong. They made me eat it. I will take that. Indiana
and oh, by the
is
way,
for real.
I think I picked Indiana to win that game, and they did.
What game?
The game against Ohio State.
Oh, you did. You did.
I
Shout out to you.
had that. Hey, I did want to shout out to my Gators. We got our coach, Mr. Summerall. I think we might have talked last week. We got Brad White, defensive coordinator from Kentucky, who's had, by the way, a way with holding a lot of the SEC teams to low numbers. I think now he's probably going to have a decent offense since we now have the number one OC duly adorned with an award in the nation. Mr. Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech is now the offensive coordinator for the Florida Gators. So I'm happy so far. About to grab trout wine from offensive line, who's an ex-Gator who's been up there at Penn State. So pretty happy with that. So, all right. Before we talk about the playoff games, I wanted to talk about the BS that Notre Dame thinks they ran into. They think they got snubbed. Miami and Bama shouldn't be in, and all this hoo-ha that went on. And, I've been saying the whole time, I even had to tell my friend here, Mike, that I thought Miami was going to get in. I knew they deserved to be in, and they did get in. And I'm glad they got in because they deserve to be there. And Notre Dame should not, because number one, Miami beat them head-to-head. Number two, if you look at Bama's strength of schedule, who they beat, by the way, they beat Georgia early in the year. The teams that they beat, the teams that they lost to, not even close to Notre Dame's schedule. Okay? So, and to top it all off, they were in the championship game for the SEC. You say, well, they lost, so they shouldn't be in. That's a bunch of BS because Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M sat back, didn't have to go to the game, and they're going to get in? How can that shit happen? Send one of them packing if you're going to send anybody packing, but Bama should have made it in. All right? So that's where I am with some of that. So, and then people also ask, well, what about JMU and how they got in? You know, they got in because they were the one of the 5 highest ranked conference champions, blah blah blah. There's no way, in my opinion, that we should have 2 group of 5 teams in there. So it just shouldn't happen. I mean, both these teams are almost 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns. JMU's 3 touchdowns, dog, and Tulane's over 2 touchdowns. So they really shouldn't even be in there in the first place. The other thing I wanted to go ahead. But
Well, just to touch on those 2 subjects really quick. I mean, first and foremost, the reason that there's 2 G5 schools in there is because the ACC was buns and has a terrible tiebreaker. So
yeah,
that left you
I was going to
because of
tiebreakers next. Go ahead.
because of how they have it set up. You know,
Stupid.
it's
Stupid.
the top four conferences. They tried to set it up so that they thought that it was going to be the Power Four conferences, because in theory you would think that the Power Four conferences would be the highest ranked conference champions at the end of the year. Didn't work out this way this year because of the ACC's tiebreakers, which forced Virginia to play Duke rather than Miami, even though they had the same conference record. Miami had a better overall record, but because of the tiebreaker of the ACC, which goes based off of the total opponent's percentage of strength of schedule and record, it put Duke in over Miami. Duke beats Virginia, who was the only ranked ACC team outside of Miami. That knocks Miami out of that bid spot. So then you had SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and the American Conference with Tulane. So Tulane took that final spot that was supposed to be for the Power Four Conference of ACC in theory. And then you had the guaranteed G5 spot to the highest ranked G5 team.
Mike, the way it reads is 5 highest ranked conferences. That's where it's screwed up, because it used to be there were 5 Power 5 conferences.
Right.
Now there's 4. So that's kind of how freaking JMU slides in on a damn technicality, because we used to have 5 and now we have 4. So like you said, the screwy assness of the ACC is killed us.
I mean, I get it, and I get sort of the frustration of it, because when you look at the 2 teams that are out, you know, you mentioned Notre Dame and them not deserving to be in. I think Notre Dame did deserve to be in. I do think they deserve to be in over an Alabama team that lost 3 games, that, you know, looked abysmal. And if you consider that conference championship game, if you look in history's past, any time that a team has lost during the college football playoff era, anytime they've lost that conference championship game, they've gone down in ranking. The only team to stay where they are is this year's Alabama team. I'm sorry, if that's not bias, I don't know what is. At the end of the day, you know, they should have at least fallen back to 10. I think Notre Dame should have slid up to 9, and I think it should have been a debate at that point between a 10-2 Miami team and a 9-3 Alabama team. I very much appreciate what the committee did, and we called it last week's show. We sort of talked about it. I figured that was where they were going with that, and how they set up that bracket and set up those standings to sort of draw that into it, to be able to play that head-to-head card and ultimately move them up. But it makes absolutely no sense why Alabama is in this playoff. Notre Dame should be in this playoff. They should have got in at 10. Miami should have been at 9. Alabama should have been out. Even Ole Miss. There's really no so think about the Ole Miss situation in Florida State back in 2023. Florida State goes 13-0, wins their ACC championship game. Starting quarterback gets hurt. They eliminate all of the progress that the other, 52 guys on that roster plus 80 guys on that roster plus had done all year long to get to that point, and they eliminate all of that over one player. They don't get to go to the playoff. Ole Miss loses their coach to LSU 3 weeks before the playoff starts. They don't even drop in the rankings at all. They stayed exactly where they were at 6. How?
I don't agree. I don't agree that a coach holds. I mean, a coach is standing on the sidelines. He's not playing the game. That quarterback's playing the game. A coach.
There's a reason they're paying them $10 million. There's a reason that Florida went and offered him $11 million a year to try to poach him from that playoff team. It's not because he's standing there holding a clipboard.
Game, Mike. There's no way, man.
Give me a break.
It's not even close. It's not even close. All the guys that do the work are the players. And the guys that make the calls are the guys on the field, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. It's not even close. A quarterback that killed it, a Heisman quarterback versus some guy standing on the sidelines. No way. Not even close. Not even close.
I think Ole Miss will make noise. I think they'll make noise in this playoff. They have a good roster, but there's no way that it's not an issue. I'm telling you.
My contention is that Alabama makes it in that playoff. Alabama should, if you're going to take anybody out, you take one of the clowns that didn't have to go to the playoff. It is not right that a team has to go to the playoff and lose and clowns on the sidelines. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma just get to sit back and not even work for it, and they get to go. You want to take somebody out, take one of those 3 out, and then put Notre Dame in.
I mean,
you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's not right. It's not right for those 3 teams to sit on the sidelines, not have to play. Bama has to play the number 3 team in the nation.
So you think the top 8 teams going into conference championship or selection Sunday should be the teams in the conference championships. Top 8 teams should be the top 8 teams in the Power 4 conference championships. Is basically what you're saying.
It should be. They should be selected.
In theory, it should be
that way.
But do you think? But okay. I mean, based off of that, right? Do you think BYU is better than Oregon?
No.
Or Texas A&M, or Ole Miss, or Oklahoma? So would you genuinely put a BYU team in over those teams? Based off, I'm just, you know what I mean? It's hard to, it's hard to demote a team.
I understand, but you're talking about where BYU is way down here versus Alabama.
They're not way down there. They're the second team out. They're the second team out. Look at Notre Dame. Okay, all right. Plug Notre Dame. Plug Notre Dame. Plug Notre Dame. Would Notre Dame beat Oregon? Does Notre Dame deserve to be in over Oregon?
I'm not making that call. No, I don't think so. No, I think Oregon's over Notre Dame.
Well, Oregon didn't play. They didn't play in a conference championship. All right. Do you think that Notre Dame is better than Ole Miss?
No.
All right. I'm not even going to ask you about the other two.
Notre Dame hasn't played anybody. They played you guys and lost. They played A&M and lost. Who have they beaten? We're the shit.
So, okay, so you wouldn't – hold on. So you wouldn't put the front 2 teams, the first 2 teams that they left out of this bracket, you wouldn't sub them in for the 2 teams that you were just complaining about, the 4 teams that didn't play in a conference championship. Who would you put in those 4 slots then? I don't get it.
What I'm saying is that Alabama over those 3 teams because they got into the playoff.
You think Alabama over Oregon, Ole Miss?
No, Ole Miss. Well, all I'm saying is it makes no sense. if that team goes into the
Well, it's the
championship
losses.
game,
It's the losses. I mean that
I
they
understand, but they're going in the championship game and the other team's not, and
well
you're going to
okay,
get
but
penalized because you win the championship game.
well yeah, because head to head matters, right? So the ranked Alabama at 9 behind Oklahoma at 8 because Oklahoma went into Alabama and beat them. They have ranked
Right?
Alabama ranked at 9 because Ole Miss Ole Miss is
They
sitting
didn't
at what,
play.
one loss this year?
Yeah, they didn't play. Yeah,
So Ole
they
Miss is
lost.
sitting at
They
11.
they
Ole
just
Miss is
they
sitting at
just
11 and
lost
1, and you got
to
Alabama at 10 and 2 going
to
into the SEC championship. Now they're 10 and 3. So I mean, Texas A&M on the flip side, they went undefeated throughout the entire year, besides the one loss game at the end of the year to a Texas team that finally put it all together. And Texas A&M, because of the schedule that they had, it was favorable. They didn't play any of the top SEC teams pretty much the entire season until they ran into
Yep.
that Texas team, and we saw what happened. Which is why I think my Miami Hurricanes have a good shot coming, here in a couple weeks against them. But it's
that would be
I
that would probably be the team
I
that
still
should
don't
be
think
out.
Alabama deserves to be in, especially based off of what they did in that conference championship game against Georgia. They had what, 3 rushing yards against that team? They were abysmal throughout the entire game. They were getting blown out. They got some garbage points sort of at the end of the game to kind of make it look a little bit competitive, but for them to stay what they were after that game, I mean, that's, if you want to put them in at 10, but to leave them at 9,
Yeah,
that's
I didn't even pay
interesting.
attention to that. I didn't pay attention to that. My whole theory is that you're in that championship game. Both those teams should be in, as well as in the Big Ten,
I mean, it's tough. Ultimately, they're going
without
to
a
have
doubt.
to expand. But did you see the sort of clause with Notre Dame's playoff
Oh yeah,
situation moving
yeah,
forward?
yeah, yeah.
That's insane.
They're
Let's just
good to
call
go,
that what
man.
it is.
They're good to go, man.
If they're
It's
so for
it's
those that don't
horseshit.
know, if Notre Dame finishes in the top 12
They're in.
rankings, regardless of auto bids, guaranteed slots, whatever, if Notre Dame finishes in the top 12 rankings next year moving forward, they are guaranteed a spot. They would bump somebody else out so that Notre Dame would be able to get plugged into the playoff moving forward. If the playoff expands to 14 teams, example,
It'll be
all
14.
they have to do is be within the top 13, and they
Yeah,
would get plugged in automatically. If it expands further, it's the same thing. It's
like
ridiculous.
I
It's time.
like I.
It's time for these teams to stop playing Notre Dame and force them
Well,
to be in a conference.
I'm
All right,
thinking this
it's
is the
time.
finger. I think this is the finger that NCAA gave Notre Dame here and said, maybe we're not going to treat you like the prima donnas you think you are, Jan Gertz, and we're going to go for real here because I mean it's just freaking insane that they get that. I told you from the very beginning that if they lose more than one game, they shouldn't even be in the damn. They shouldn't even be allowed to be in because they don't even have to play for a championship game. So, I mean,
Well, I
it
think
just all pisses me off,
I
the
would
whole Notre
respect
Dame thing.
I would respect them losing 2 games and not having a conference championship game more if they just went and played other people. You have the independency for a reason. You can play anybody you want. You can
Go play
schedule
real
anybody you
teams.
want. Go play a few. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right now, you have an
Yep.
agreement with the ACC that you're basically playing an ACC conference schedule without having ties or being involved with the ACC. So you're getting the benefits of playing some of our weaker teams
Yep.
with no real ties or consequences, if you lose them or really beat them. I mean, Boston College, they struggled against for the most part. Stanford, they've had issues with the past. That's now an ACC team, hasn't been before. But um, it's, I think personally, it's time. It's Notre Dame is, especially for the ACC, they're ACC in every other sport but
Mm-hmm.
football. It makes no sense. I get the revenue side of it. I get it's all money driven with the NBC contract and everything else and the exclusivity of it all and the gold helmet and the prestige and the whatever the mystique behind it, but it's time. It's time. And as these
Big time.
programs, if I'm these programs, I'm not scheduling Notre Dame moving forward. I'm forcing them to play UConn. I'm forcing them to play Appalachian State and
Yeah.
Texas State and Washington State and
maybe they
Oregon
will.
State. All the
Maybe they
state
will.
schools. Just let them play them and only them, and let them see what resume stands at the end of the year. Knowing the AP poll and the stupidity of that as well, they'll probably put Notre Dame in the top 5 moving forward, just like they always do in the preseason. And as long as Notre Dame doesn't lose to mess it up, they'll be fine, and they'll be in the playoff because of that stipulation. But it's frustrating. I think conferences as a whole right now, something has to give. When you have these super conferences, such as the ACC with 18 teams, that's how you get situations like this with these dumb tiebreakers where you have a 7-5 Duke team over a playoff Miami team sitting at 10-2 in your conference championship game. Something's got to change.
And they're not the only ones with the stupid tiebreaker either. So they've got to get the tiebreakers the same across the board. Like you said, it's got to be where you're ranked in the college football poll as to who goes in. It's the tiebreaker's got to be that. No ifs, ands, or buts. So, I mean, that's got to give. I mean, the other thing that I've been telling you for a while is the scheduling, and the thing about the SEC is we have a couple less teams than the Big Ten does, and still I've been so pissed for 2 years that Missouri and Dinkwine is supposed to be this great coach, and he hasn't won shit up there, and we've got this hard schedule for the last 2 years, and he's had cakes. Granted, I wanted Billy out of there. No ifs, ands, or buts. But I guarantee you, we've won more games against ranked teams than Dinkwine has the last 2 or 3 years because they've had a cakewalk schedule. They've really got to get that shit figured out too. I mean, something like they've just got to figure out some schedule balancing. So, I mean, and I'm so glad we did not go after Dinkwine. So, so. Drinkowitz.
You're talking about Drinkwitz? Got you.
I'm talking about Drinkowitz. Dinkowitz. I'm not talking about Dinkwine. It's the same. You know who I'm talking about.
I got you.
Dinkowitz.
I'm picking up what you're putting
Dinkowitz.
down. Yeah. I mean, something's got to give. Something's got to give with the conferences. Something's got to give with these bowl games. I don't know if you saw this, but there's like a dozen teams that turned down bowl game invites that had the opportunity to play that didn't earn it. 5 and 7, you got to be 6 and 6 to be bowl eligible, and they're all turning it down. Notre Dame being one of them, Florida State being one of them, turning down bowl games, turning down a chance for their guys to play another game as a senior to get more reps. I don't understand it. It's the weirdest. I don't know what it is. Pouting. Frustration. It's strange. It's strange to me, but it's killing bowls and bowl season, the bowl madness that we've kind of all come to know and love over the years. It's in trouble, and something interesting is going to have to happen to kind of rejuvenate the incentives for these guys to play in bowls, because unfortunately these gift bags that they're receiving when they get there it's not cutting it anymore. So it's in trouble. Something's got to give, especially now with this playoff, taking away some of these bigger marquee games. They're sort of getting lost in it, right? I mean, they're still calling them that, but when you're talking about a playoff bracket as a whole and these matchups, you don't really care so much what the bowl game is called. You care more about the knit and grit and kind of what's going to get you to the next round. So it's interesting. It's very interesting.
It is. I mean, every time you turn around, there's something else that's broken, And this year, it's the bowls and people bowing out of bowls. I mean, that hardly ever happened. Everybody wanted to get in, and now they're not, and it's just, it's disgusting. It really is.
Yep.
So, all right, you want to You want to move our thought process to what's happening with the playoff and
Uh,
how that is all laid
yeah,
out.
real quick, I just want to do a quick pick recap for us. So Army Navy, we had I was on the under 39.5 there. Dave was on the -6 for Navy. You're on the over in the Jacksonville State, or I'm sorry, the South Carolina State Prairie View game. You're on the over 43.5. I'm on Prairie View plus 4.5. We're both on Boise State plus 9.5 against Washington. We're both on Jacksonville State versus Troy. I'm on the over in Old Dominion, South Florida. Dave's on South Florida minus the points. I'm on the over in the Louisiana Delaware game, and Dave is on Louisiana money line. Just wanted to recap that for y'all real quick, and make sure to check out our college football pick'em contest pool. Link is down below in the bio. Just copy and paste it. Go ahead and sign up. It is free entry. Free entry to get in. Winner gets a $50 gift card. So make sure to check that out. It's our way to kind of give back to everybody that's watched with us this year and make it a little bit interesting. See if you can best old Gator Dave and myself, and see what's going on.
All right. So as we look
All right.
at the brackets, so as we kind of roll down, you got 12 James Madison playing Oregon. And then that winner is going to play Texas Tech. Then you got Alabama, Oklahoma, the rematch. And that winner is going to play Indiana. Then you've got Tulane and Mr. Sumrall playing Ole Miss. That is a rematch from earlier in the year. And the winner of that game is going to play Georgia, which means Ole Miss, if Ole Miss wins, which they should, they're going to have to play Georgia again. Then you got your Miami Hurricanes playing Texas A&M, and the winner of that one got Ohio State. So that's kind of where we lay in game one and game two. So what are you seeing there, Mike? Anything besides the fact that Tulane and James Madison are buys almost for those other teams? I mean,
Well, I
you know,
mean, so it's that's a little interesting, to be honest. That line has moved a little bit. They both started kind of with a more favorable line to the favorites. James Madison opened at plus 20.5. Tulane was plus 16.5. That's since moved up now to 17.5 and 21.5, which sort of plays more towards there's a lot of money coming in on those favorites to push that money up a little bit to make those underdogs a little bit more enticing for people to do in terms of looking at the number and kind of being at those key numbers. Um, I do think that, believe it or not, these teams are, I think, going to shock some folks, to be honest. I think they're going to come ready to play. You cannot sleep on this James Madison offense. They are legit. We talked about them a couple times this year. They can run the football, they can pass the football. I think they're going to be able to find some success against an Oregon team that I believe is probably looking ahead of them a little bit. If anybody's going to kind of keep their head on straight, Dan Lanning is one of those guys and keeping them focused. However, in this situation, style points don't matter anymore. It's you want to win, you want to get on to the next game, you want to limit injuries. With them being in Autzen, playing in Eugene, that's massive for Oregon, and a super big advantage for James Madison having to go across the country. It's big for them. Um, but I think James Madison
21
has the offense.
21's a lot.
I think James Madison has the offense to keep that one within that 21.5 number. We'll talk about it more in the coming weeks. Probably, I think it's next week that we'll talk about these playoff shows among or these playoff games among others. But I right now I'm looking at that 21.5 number, and I think that's a good side to be on for James Madison. I think they could give Oregon sort of everything that they're looking for, and it's going to come down to whether James Madison is able to make the stops on Oregon's offense or not. On the flip side, you got Tulane and Ole Miss. They played earlier this year. Tulane, you could sort of say, is Ole Miss's little brother in ways with how close Mississippi and Louisiana are to one another. They recruit in the same backyards. A lot of the guys that they have on these teams have played with each other in high school and such. So there's a little bit of a rivalry between these two teams. But the main thing for me is they've played earlier this year, and Ole Miss absolutely waxed them. I think there's a lot of talk going on about Ole Miss. There's a little bit of talk going on around Tulane and, the coach and him focusing on Florida. From everything that I've seen, he's doing a great job in juggling both positions right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Tulane is focused. I think they have a chip on their shoulder. I think they have a team that, believe it or not, can compete with Ole Miss, especially if Ole Miss is coming in a little bit feeling themselves, a little bit emotional over all the talk that they've heard. Me being one of them earlier in the show, sort of talking about, do they deserve to sort of stay where they are at 6? Because I do think that they should have dropped down, to maybe 8. I think they're still a playoff team, but losing your head coach, your guy, the guy that got you there into that program, your leader, the person that you look to for answers every week, that's a big hurdle to take, especially in a win or go home type situation. They hired the defensive coordinator, Pete Golding. He is going to be their head coach moving forward. So, yes, they sort of still have that leader presence among them. But this is also, he's new to this as well. This is a very new situation that he's sort of getting tossed into also. And it's going to be interesting how it's all handled. Ole Miss definitely has the tools and the pieces to make a run. Their defense is great. Their offense is great. They are a mismatch nightmare to go against. But I think Tulane, they have nothing to lose. Summerall is going to be gone. They're going to lose a lot of their guys to the portal. They have nothing to lose. They're going to sell it out in this game. They're going to run trick plays. They're going to give everything they got to Ole Miss. If they can hold Ole Miss, if they can force a turnover early to kind of shift the tide of that game, the momentum of that game, the crowd momentum of that game, I think Tulane can compete with this Ole Miss team. It's 17.5 is a lot in a win or go home playoff situation. You're going to get the best Tulane team that you have all year. You're going to get the best James Madison team you have all year. These are their Super Bowls. On the flip side, these are important games for these other teams, but are they sort of looking ahead to those bigger matchups that you mentioned? Texas Tech on the horizon, Indiana on the horizon, Georgia on the horizon. It's interesting. It's interesting. I think don't sleep on, don't automatically assume that because these guys are these big favorites against these teams, that they're going to steamroll through these teams. These teams, as much as it's disgusting to look at, I personally love it. It reminds me of March Madness, and I think we need a little bit more. Just expand it to 25, Dave. Expand it to 25. Go ahead and give the 1 seed a bye in the first round. Expand it to 25, and let's just go. Let's have at it. Let's play football year round, Dave. Let's play it on the moon. Let's build a dome under the ocean. Let's go down to Bikini Bottom for a special. I know you were watching that Monsters Inc. Monday Night Football game.
I did.
I knew you were. But let's extend it. Let's do what we can here. All right, football forever. Okay.
I'd buy that, but hey, I'm not going to buy 20-something teams in this playoff because I don't think that's deserving at this point.
Why
it's
not?
Just too many.
Oh,
too many.
Come on! You don't think Texas deserves to be in it? Texas can make some noise. Vanderbilt could make some noise. Maybe we bump it out to 16.
Yeah,
maybe we start at
James
16.
Madison and Tulane probably will not make noise. They might
Ah,
cover spreads, but they're not going
that's
to
a
make
little bit of noise.
noise.
That's a little buzz
I
in the
mean,
ear. That's a
wouldn't it?
mosquito.
I mean, you make a point. Wouldn't it be if Texas and Vanderbilt were in here? Wouldn't it be like damn exciting playoff
Yeah.
at that point? I mean,
So
it's
all right, think about that, right?
now
We're at 12. We're
it's
at
gonna
12 right
get
now.
there.
So
It's gonna
you
get there.
add Notre Dame, you add BYU, Texas, and Vanderbilt. That'd be your 16 teams, and then you still have Tulane and
That's where we're
James
going
Madison.
next. Yeah,
That's
next year. That's what
that
it'll be.
cinema,
It
absolute
will
cinema
be
right there,
absolute.
folks.
Yeah, if as long as James Madison and Tulane are out, it would be cinema, and that's where we more than likely will go. But I just don't know about this group of
Just give me
5 or
25.
group of 6 now. No, we don't need that many, Mike. It's just too many. It's not the damn basketball because one of the top 4 teams is going to win it all. One of the top 4 teams will win it all.
I'd say top
Right?
5, but I'll give you that.
All right, who's 5? Son of a.
Oregon.
All right, who's Oregon? No. Top 4 will win it all. And it's going to be that way 99.9% of the time. So that's why we don't need to go much more than 16 max. I can live with 12.
But the reason is they're playing one less game.
32 teams.
I mean they got to win 2 games and they're in the championship.
We need to get rid of the damn conference games.
All right, what about this? Give me
rid of
the
the
same 12 teams we got, but give me a play-in. Give me a play-in between the last 4 teams, okay? 13 plays 16, 14 plays 15, play-in, drop them in there.
Oh, on top of the 12? I'd take a play-in. I'd take a play-in over. I'd take that. Yeah,
all right,
that'd be awesome.
See,
that'd be awesome.
Negotiation. This is what this is about. Playoff committee. We can do this.
But I think Scott's out of his mind with 32 there for sure. There, Scotty boy. That's asking a little too much. So, so obviously, a lot of interesting scenarios as we go through. I mean, these games, as we look, we got Bama and Oklahoma is Bama favored by 1.5. Miami, Texas A&M favored by 3.5. Let's see, where are the other ones? What are the other one? So James Madison, Oklahoma, Tulane, Miami. Those are those games that already have spreads on them. So, very interesting. So definitely look forward to next week. And how many games, Mike? You sent me the note. How many do we have
next week? We're gonna have 11. We'll have 11, and that includes the 4 first-round playoff games.
Okay. All right. And we got to remind everybody, if you're playing.
Yeah. So it's basically everything from Wednesday up to the following Wednesday, which will be Christmas Eve, basically.
Yeah.
So
okay.
And then we'll extend that, from Christmas Day. We'll do that week moving forward for the next 12.
All right, cool. Well, we appreciate everybody being on
until the next show.
Yep. We appreciate all the participation, all the folks in the chat, all the folks online, all the folks watching. We are Bets Utopia, your number 1 place for all things sports betting. Don't forget about us on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. We will be back at 8 p.m. And yes, we'll be back at 8 p.m. next Wednesday for these next 11 games. Please be with us. Come see us. Enter the contest, man. We're going to give it's $50 free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Enter our contest.
It's the best kind of contest.
All the information's right there. I'm logging in after I get done here. I'm picking the game for next
Yep, get them
The
in.
game's
Get
on
them in.
Saturday.
First game's this Saturday. Remember, you don't have to
Saturday.
do every game all at once unless you want to. It locks at the beginning of kickoff time, so you can go day by day, week by week. Once these bowl games get rolling, there's basically going to be a game per day at least. So once they get going, they get going. So if you want to get ahead of it, plug them in. You can check them as it goes. You can do it at, it's up to you. But make sure you get that in. Like Dave said, free tournament, free pool. Winner gets some money. So check it out.
That's right. So Saturday noon is the in Mercedes-Benz, that first game. So get that pick in. Then you've got the Boise State game against Washington is on Saturday as well at 8, and then the games start
8 p.m.
next
right?
Tuesday. Yep. So get those picks in. We'd love to give that money away, unless we win, and then you don't win. But surely you guys can beat
Yeah, you
us.
gotta beat.
So,
What'd you call us earlier, Dave?
I don't know, soothsayers. I don't know what did I say. I don't know.
Yeah,
Experts.
yeah.
I don't know.
It was that word, and it
Scariness.
was a bold one,
Some
So
scariness. Some scariness. But we appreciate everybody being on tonight. Congratulations again to Mike's Miami Hurricanes for getting in, and good luck to them and all the other teams that are in the playoffs. So, and don't forget where Gator Dave's pick is to win it all. We'll talk about that later on as weeks move on. Thanks, folks, for being here. Mike, what do you think?
yeah, thank y'all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Again, check out that link in the bio below. Make sure you join that contest. Why not? And see if you can beat Gator Dave and I in this year's bowl pick'em. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate it. Good luck this week in your first bowl games and the Army-Navy game on Saturday. We will see you next Wednesday night.